Hello and welcome, folks, to another exciting edition of the Michigan Panthers podcast. It's kind of loud. Let's turn that one down a little bit. Sorry about that. And you better strap in because
you're in the jungle now, baby.
Another exciting week of UFL football done. It is April 28th, post-week 5. Let's hop on into it, folks. Do a little bit of the, flash through some of the highlights here, and then we'll talk a little bit kind of about what it means, and we'll talk a little bit about a parity of this league. This is a fantastic game, though. Cannot lie. So what we start off, they get, the first half is mostly uneventful. They get field goal to start off with. Bang. Early hit. There you go. Little tight end action coming out here and
when he pulls it, after he pulls
this is
it's
Hakeem
not
Butler's
just
first
run.
game. So it's interesting to see. Well, we go on through. We can take a look at, where's the drives? Here we go. Can take a look at this, right? We get a tutty here in the first quarter. They come back in the second. Why did they come back? Well, could it perhaps be we pull a certain quarterback named Bryce Perkins. Yes, Bryce Perkins goes 11 for 12 across the first quarter and then finishes the drive, I believe, like 3 or 4 minutes into the second. Goes 11 for 12 on passing. I believe he got one, I believe only got one short run right there. And yeah, and gets the touchdown. So, of course, Mike Nolan pulls him, puts in a man named
A vertical and an in route by Mariner.
Doesn't do a whole lot right here, as you can see. Oh, come on. They're showing this replay. Okay, sorry. You know, let me do it some justice, right?
30-15.
There's the one really good play that Edmund had.
Trying to direct traffic and then is able to dump it
Weird,
down.
nice tightrope run, but he steps out like like back there. This isn't enough for a first down. This isn't enough for a first down. It is not enough. He steps out. I believe he's still on the 44. So, bang. They're literally interviewing at Perkins sitting on the sideline. Now, let's take a look at why this is so bad.
Intercepted by Cameron Kelly. And Kelly with a heck of a
Solid return. He kind of falls down there at the end. Probably if he made the last man miss, that's another like target turn. Let's take a look at this. Right. So tight end goes up. I believe that's Hicotini or Oaks. Bam, crosser right here. Malik Turner. Now he is pretty darn well wide open. 35. That might have been not a Malik Turner, not Sayusi Mariner. Not 100% sure. Sorry, but he's like literally coming out, short little hitch to try and block right here and open this middle part of the field up. There you go, bang. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys back here.
Mess in front of him, Cole Cabral just gets a little spooked.
So bang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of 7 even here, right? Only 4 guys rushing. Edling gets it off. Everybody is drawn over to the left side of the field right here once he cuts in. Now, if Danny Etling throws it a little bit behind him, right? A little bit behind him, he might could have come back for it for, a short game, may have dropped it, who knows, right? If he throws it in front of him, like in stride, right, he is taking off down the side of this field, and as you can see, this guy's momentum is coming back this way, like back towards the middle of the field, back towards the left side of the field, if you're looking from the Michigan Panthers side, right? Throws it short, just a little dump pass or something like that, like to the end of this logo or something like that, or even on the L right here. What is that? That'd be the 54. Or no, excuse me, the 45-yard line, or 46-yard line, like over here. Okay, shorter completion, still probably would have been able to stretch the right side of this field, go all the way up. He puts in the one place, I guess shorter on the outside. I mean, he may have way thrown it over here where my cursor is, maybe, right? Even if he throws it over here to the left, it like drops in the middle of the field. This guy is probably not coming back to that one. Nope, right in the breadbasket right here. And he picks it up, what is that, the 32, 33, something like that, and runs it all the way back. What is that? That's the 50. Here's the 40. Just brutal, dude. Just absolutely brutal. 11 for 12. Pulls him to play living statue Daniel.
There was the rule.
Now, we're taking a look. I believe this is like... I think they might have come out of half. I actually didn't watch all of this game, but I believe they came out of the half, and Mike Nolan got caught on a hot mic, basically saying that Max Duggan ain't gonna cannot beat us with his arm. Well, that might have been a little exciting in terms of why they outside of 2 plays, which we'll talk about. Nope, great RPO, just goes right out the outside. It tight end here, number 87 does a fantastic job of that. That is not the play that I thought it was.
7. Duggan gets up. Come the fall. This from 28.
Into the field goal right here. It's the third period. Now, is this the play that I think it is? It's certainly not.
Here's Perkins on 2nd down.
That's just one of the few times that Perkins ran. Sorry about that. I'll probably get this. Bang! This is what I was looking for. Malik Turner. Tutty. This is so beautiful. Let's watch it again. Only 5 minutes in. Yeah, I'm gonna try and make it a little bit shorter. Like just a little stutter step there by number 24, and he's just not able to get there to Malik Turner. Malik Turner, I believe, got targeted 11 times in this game. I love this. I believe they're doing a TikTok dance. All right. Fantastic. Yep, and our defense goes forth. We're mostly keeping the highlights offensive stuff. That was Toa Tawa. Comes on in here. I believe he ended up getting...
2nd and 9.
This, though, bang. As soon as DJ Miller trips, this is over with. Colin Bauer, you can see the little bit of trolling there at the end, right? Didn't even try and hustle to get in the end zone. It is what it is. DJ Miller fell down. That was it. That's not it. There's replaying it.
Arizona with some practice reps under his belt.
Didn't really sell it as much. Decent completion. That's to Malik Turner yet again. That was Saint Louis Manor. They get the catch right there. It calls a flag anyway, or draws the flag for the defensive pass interference. Gets out of the way. That's Toa Tawa. We get ahead by a point.
Hey, you know when that faith and steady grind.
Solid return.
They go with the pop pass, and it's an option 2 pass.
This is the yep.
And launching it is Jackson.
Hakeem Butler, dude, I believe he got targeted 3 times? No, 2 times? Targeted 4 times, excuse me. Targeted 4 times, catches both of them, 2 tutties. That is where this would end, unfortunately. This is a good play. St. Louis is good at this sort of stuff. Anthony Becht has definitely grown to be one of those head coaches who really irritates me. But it is, yeah, I mean, it's good. You can't hate on it. It is what it is. DJ Miller doesn't trip. We win by 2. It was really, really good. Max Duggan, though, goes on to ultimately beat us on the ground. Again, I didn't actually watch the end of this game yet, and so we go for it on 4th and don't make it. Yeah, they're at the end of that one. That's just it is what it is. Great game, gotta say. Well, let's take a look at the very, very end of it, right? Everybody talking about this one. Samson Nakua, Saint Louis Manor right here. There's a St. Louis fan chirping. Oh, I got that. I love the laugh there at the end. Obviously, this is only so much that was recorded. Nobody knows what he said. Obviously, he's a player and should not be slapping fans and stuff like this. Again, there are plenty of things that somebody could say to really set somebody off like that. So I'd kind of like to see the 8-10 seconds before this and see exactly what was said. But you know, it is what it is, right? It happened. The bad news for Samson Nakua there as well. The St. Louis Police Department has announced that they're going to be investigating that one as well. And in part of their statement, they said as well they're going to try and see exactly what happened there beforehand. Now, obviously, if this guy somehow threw something at him, you know what I'm saying, somehow was down on the field and hit him or something like that, you know, then who knows? I'm just saying it doesn't look good. I'm just saying wait for all the evidence to come out and indict people when that happens based on the evidence, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the numbers here. Dude, 21 for 25, 235 yards, 2 tutties, no interceptions, a 132.5 rating. Did not really get as much going in the in the rushing game. It was really that one single scamper off to the right side that we kind of saw in the highlights right there. That they got a first down. That was really good. Toa Tawa is really the name of the name of the game, the guy of the day here. Jaden Sheridan got a little bit done. Just got a little bit done right there, but even Toa Tawa got more done. It was our It was our tight ends, dude. These aren't fantastic numbers, but given that one of them's for a touchdown, Cole Hicatini targeted twice, an average of 13, single catch a game. It's pretty consistent, and of course that was for the first down. Really, really eating up these offensive targets. Malik Turner, 11 of them. So Seriously, Mariner, 8 of them. That's 19 right there, which is of course, 19 of Bryce Perkins' attempted 25. Danny Etling's added on top of that, so was that 34 total attempted? They got 19 of them, so a little bit more than half, right? The yards after catch right there, 45. So seriously, Mariner, fantastic stuff. Malik Turner, obviously, you saw that perfect ball off to the corner. Really, really stand out right there. Absolutely love it. Max Duggan, it's funny, right? Coach Nolan says, oh, he can't beat him with his arm. Well, doesn't have to because Blake Jackson completed that one. And then what was this? It was either 67, 67 or 53 or something like that. One of these was, so 57, right? The other one being, 67. So take that away from here. You had like 50-something yards on eight completions outside of that. Did not beat us with his arm. Did beat us right here. 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns, Jesus Christ. 2 touchdowns off 10 attempts and 70 yards. That is really good. Now, I feel like we did a great job containing Jacob Sailors, but once this quarterback took off, that was just it. A fantastic job, honestly. Hats off to them. Hakeem Butler just absolutely torching us. This is the first game of his first game back, I do believe, this season. 4 targets, 2 receptions. Outside of DJ Miller falling down in the trick play, dude, just that separation there towards the end. Little hand fighting, totally legal hand fighting. I'm not saying it like that, right? Totally legal. And a great job from Hakeem Butler. I feel like giving MVP for this team might have to be. I mean, if Max Duggan threw this ball that Blake Jackson did, actually, dude, because a wide receiver here throwing a 57-yard bomb is it was obviously closer to like 28 yards, but it was right on point. It was perfect, right? Well, it is what it is. Jacob Sailors continues to contribute on the ground a little bit, 2 for 23 right there, and a long one of 17. No one else really got it done, right? Ja'Cour Pearson, 2 targets, caught both of them for -3 yards. Longest was -1. Blake Jackson, the guy who came in for the fake right there, targeted thrice, average of 8 on 2. Jake Sutherland caught both of them. That's fantastic stuff. It was really just that one. The other one was a single yard pass. Great job for us for shutting down Jacob Sailors, excuse me. Man, if Hakeem Butler gets tackled right there, this game is. Or DJ Miller doesn't fall down, it's a totally different game. I don't play those what-ifs right here. The St. Louis Battlehawks win by 5. Now, I just had this up because it's just so irritating, right? It goes with the punt, touchdown, just a slower right there. A long touchdown right there. Pretty decently long drive. Does end in downs after a sack after a penalty and then a sack. Cannot get the field goal even attempt right there, and then the interception right here, and then we don't even try after the half. Like, it was just brutal. It is what it is. Let's talk now, because I do believe, especially with that slap, we have got our XFL rival, folks. There was a lot of chirping, myself included, done over there, over there for, before this game, to the St. Louis Battlehawks, and, I mean, the Brahmas were 1-1 with Arlington. We have not played this season yet. I was just looking at but we haven't played this season yet, of course. But we are 1-0. So even if they win this season, it'll be 1-1 right there. Now this could come down and matter ultimately. Excuse me. This could come down and matter ultimately, because. Like, if we beat them and they're them or DC, really, they're in the same boat right here because we haven't played either of them this season yet, right? This is for the record for last season, or for the Michigan Panthers of the current iteration of the USFL going up into the first season of the UFL when they're playing XFL teams, right? So yeah, we beat them, but it was week 1 we beat them last. It was for the 62-yard field goal by Jake Bates that kind of set the stage for this guy to go forth and obviously join the NFL. It was a fantastic game, low-scoring game. It was like 15-14, 17-16, something like this. I can't exactly remember. I'm not going to go through all this as well. But, yeah, especially with all the chirping that was done back and forth beforehand, Hakeem Butler coming back in, our secondary generally just shutting everything down, bro. No fly zone. Outside of those two big receptions, I mean, yeah, let's look at this, right? That was... Yeah, those two big receptions, 124 yards. That's literally exactly what Max Duggan had, right? You take those two away. Okay, I'm not even gonna say away. Say they just catch. He just catches both, and so that's like 50 yards instead of you take 74 yards away. This 200 total looks more like 120. What? That's not even 200 total. That's 100. Oh my God, quick math. 181, right? You take 70 of those away, they're looking at 111. That is not good numbers, especially given that even Danny Etling was able to put up 59 yards on 4 attempts. Just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. The interception right there was brutal. We get back into it after Bryce Perkins has to clean up Danny Edling's mess. We don't try for anything at the. We have I think 1 or 2 timeouts exiting the first half. We don't try and use either of them. Don't try and get any points with 28 seconds left, even with the college timeout rules. That didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I feel, and ultimately 3 points did kind of end up deciding this game because we had to go for a touchdown because we're down 5 instead of down by 2. At that point, and would have kicked that for the win. It is what it is. Fantastic game. I do think we might have a little rivalry going on between these two teams because both of these so far were pretty close. Now let's talk. Bang bang. Now let's talk about parity a little bit, right? Let's talk about parity because I feel like we have had this season so far. I feel like has been the most even-handed. The numbers will show that as well, right? Has been the most even-handed season that we've had so far, right? Last year, Arlington was a good team, but they couldn't finish and couldn't get wins, right? They finished with like 2-7. DC is kind of the exception to this rule. Finished at 4-6. A team that was super hyped before the season, then lose Abram Smith. Everyone says it's because of Abram Smith. Then they come in, and Abram Smith doesn't contribute really to now their pretty solid record, right? 4-1. Their only loss coming to the worst team, or the worst by record and. And they just got beat by, they just got beat. Not just beat, they just got thrashed by the, right? Like, they just got thrashed by, speaking of bad teams, whoever we knew was the worst team last year, right? San Antonio just exited the UFL conference, the UFL championship, right? Yes, they didn't score any points, but yes, they got there, right? 25-0 Birmingham Stallions there. So let's go through it because this is kind of the point that I'm trying to make because every single week there's like 2 big surprises, right? Like 2 big shakeups because we thought we knew who this team was, and then there's not any longer, right? And what that obviously means, what that spells out is parity, right? So just going through these here. First big surprise, of course, is the Arlington Renegades coming through and absolutely freaking trouncing the San Antonio Brahmas. Now, also keep in mind, this was when Wade Phillips and AJ Smith were still there, right? This is a team that was coming off a UFL championship appearance. St. Louis beating down the Roughnecks, no surprises there. Us beating the Memphis Showboats, just like us losing to the Birmingham Stallions by like 9 points, us beating the Memphis Showboats by at least 2 scores that's just the way that it goes, right? That's just the way that it goes. Big surprise number 2. DC doesn't beat Birmingham by like a point or 2 or a last-second field goal. They beat them by 7, right? Birmingham coming off of a 25-0 win at the UFL Championship. DC coming off of not even a playoff appearance at 4-6, right? Coming on a week number 2. Big surprise. Holy guacamole. The Arlington Renegades just beat the San Antonio Brahmas barely, and I mean barely beat the Houston Roughnecks. Only 2 points right there, and it was close. After this, I was kind of saying, oh, the 2024 Arlington Renegade season is finally over. Nope. This was almost them choking it away right there. St. Louis's first home game, they go forth and then blow out the San Antonio Brahmas. They score, it's a single score, right? 9 points in the UFL, a single score, averaging between these 2 games right here. We lose just like clockwork by a single score to the Birmingham Stallions. No surprises really there. The DC Defenders coming off the hottest team in the UFL, almost, 5 points, single score against the Memphis Showboats, the second worst team of the second worst, third in the conference of the USFL squad like last year? Question mark? What? Yeah, are we really good because we beat Memphis and Memphis almost beats the DC Defenders like that transitive property or whatever else like that? Question mark? Coming on in here. Can even gods bleed? Birmingham Stallions almost lose to the Arlington Renegades. I once again chalk this up to just like the insanity of like how bad the Arlington Renegades luck is and how differently they play in the last quarter of all these games. That's something. There's a thing that's been established here in the. I mean, outside of this right here, the goal line pick. What, they're up 6? Or no, they're up 8, I believe, and then St. Louis is right there. Goal line pick, 108-yard interception return for 6, 108-yard pick 6. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Were it so easy.
So big surprise here is Birmingham barely edging out the Arlington Renegades in the second big. Well, actually, there's kind of like three surprises here as well. The second big surprise, the Houston Roughnecks finally. Oh my God, they find a W. The Memphis Showboats are terrible. This is kind of surprising as well because the San Antonio, right? This is through all the head coaching stuff. AJ Smith has left. Oh, I thought the Michigan Panthers were good. No, only beat them by 3 points right there. And then I mean, honestly, all 4 of these games kind of are like at least somewhat surprising. The biggest things being Houston winning, and then DC just shattering St. Louis at home as well. Moving on to here, looking for our big surprises. San Antonio 0-3, looking like dog water. Comes in and shuts down the DC Defenders, who are 3-0 at this point, looking fantastic. Looking like, I mean, they just basically doubled up against the St. Louis Battlehawks. And at home and at Audi Field, what is going on? Arlington Renegades being the second big surprise here. Us beating the Memphis Showboats by 2 scores. What did I say? Just like clockwork. It's just what happens. And the Houston Roughnecks, showing a little bit of life. Birmingham only beating them by 7, but I think the theme has been established a little bit at this point. But I'd still worst team in the league, question mark, at least record-wise and by performance-wise, and still with question marks, and not just at head coaching, with Ken Wisenhunt out and Jim Turner in, but also with the quarterback shakeup, EJ Perry out, Troy Williams doing what he can in between there. EJ Perry, I think, sits out a game and then gets benched for Dresser Wynn coming on in here. Well, folks, every single team is a single quarterback, or a QB1 change away from being what seems like an actual contender. Crazy stuff, right? Memphis beats Birmingham in an electric double overtime right there. And then what seems to be the hottest team in the league, coming off a close loss to us, beating the DC Defenders, giving them their only loss, the Houston Roughnecks. What is going on? Round and round we go. Where we stop, I do not know. The Houston Roughnecks beat the San Antonio Brahmas by 24 points. That's 3 scores even in this league. This was an electrifying game as well. I had my money on the Arlington Renegades. DC just straight up gets it done. This was a great game as well. I think it was a little bit surprising, but the big surprises obviously are on the ends. The Memphis Showboats, Birmingham Stallions, the electrifying double overtime win, and then Houston just embarrassing San Antonio. Parity is here. I absolutely love it. It's been super, super exciting, super interesting. I hated seeing like winless teams, and I hated seeing like Birmingham just beating everybody. 10-0 the year before, 9-1 the last year, right? Or 9-1 last year, 10-0 the year before, and with back-to-back wins. Like I'm here for a little bit of USFL conference losses for the Birmingham Stallions. I'm also thinking that I'm really darn glad that we already played Memphis twice with EJ Perry behind center, and not a guy named Dresser Wynn, not a guy named Kwame Lassiter out there catching balls, not a guy named Jonathan Adams out there catching balls, not a guy named Deneric Prince out there running the freaking ball. Honestly, Memphis looks fantastic, looked fantastic, excuse me. I'm about a game review away from putting a future on them to win, or to go to the, or to win, to win the USFL conference, right? Not necessarily the UFL conference, win the USFL conference. I think it's like 14-1 or something like that. So it's kind of like, why not? Not to get too much pick'ems talk going on in there, but two big surprises every single week. Let's take a look and see what this might be, right? I think the big upset would be us beating DC, obviously, right? Yeah, that would be, yeah. This is honestly a brutal part of our schedule because we go to St. Louis, the toughest place to play in the UFL probably. We host DC next week, and then we go to Arlington. Not that Choctaw Stadium has like a huge thing, but that's a that's a pretty brutal back-to-back-to-back run of XFL teams, right? Obviously with San Antonio being the third right here, I don't see this San Antonio upsetting, but I could see this upset. I could see this upset as well. Arlington just shutting down St. Louis like they did earlier, like they did 2 weeks previous, right? Even in the dome, I don't believe that brings that much in here. Also, their numbers have not been as good as they have been. But hey, maybe I'm just saying that because we're rivals now, the St. Louis Battlehawks, right? Didn't need to get 10 teams in here for that one. That's gonna about do it here for us. Bang bang. You darn it. There you go. Want to go ahead and give a shout out, UFM folks, United Football Media. Follow myself, FBI_Tugbutt, literally everywhere. We got the Defending Football Show. We also got Tell Me About It. Yes, we got Tell Me About It. The Brahmas bullpen over there. Josh also creating content with the San Antonio Caballeros, little arena football action. Roughnecks Rundown, of course, to Ace, our fearless leader. Defending Football Show, obviously here, the Panthers podcast and the Panthers Picks podcast, if you're of age and you have an interest in making those sorts of picks. And, of course, Captain's Log with Webb. Follow along, like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will catch you on the flip side.